Dominique Texera, and in this short, we will cover the ongoing Syrian refugee crisis and the abundant problems that have fallen on both worldwide countries and these refugees. We will be covering topics of background of this ongoing crisis, current events surrounding the crisis, citizens' reactions, possible solutions, and ways you can help to make a difference. Today, on a special of the Syrian refugee crisis. In mid-March of 2011, the Arab Spring reached Syria, which was the beginning of one of the biggest humanitarian crises of our time. The Arab Spring turned into anti-government demonstrations, which resulted in the country starting a civil war. The peaceful protests turned violent quickly, with crackdowns and rebel groups fighting back against the regime. The rebel group that is now terrorizing not only its country but the world is referred to as ISIS, short for Islamic State. This group is responsible 5 years later for the civil war in Syria that has killed 220,000 people, destroyed cities, created horrific human rights, sparse food and medical access, and fear worldwide. More than 11 million people have been killed or forced to flee their homes and families. In 2012, there were 100,000 refugees. By 2013, 800,000. Within 4 months, 1.6 million, and currently there are 4.3 million Syrian refugees. By the end of 2016, the UN predicts there will be 4.7 million registered refugees. In September of 2015, a disturbing and distressing photo broke out worldwide on television, computer, and phone screens. Within hours, the picture went viral, becoming one of the top trending pictures on Twitter under this hashtag. This translates to humanity washed ashore. On this September day, 3-year-old Aylana Kurdi washed up on the shore of Turkey's town of Bodrum. Aylana and 12 others, including his 5-year-old brother, met similar deaths by drowning in the boat that was meant to take them to the Greek islands of Kos. This is not uncommon to hear, and sadly the number of deceased are only continuing to grow as this becomes a larger problem for those refugees whom are fleeing. Refugees are willing to pay any price and take any risk to escape their war-torn towns and country. These refugees are hopeless and believe that they will die if they stay, so they might as well die trying to reach freedom. In the hope of a new life somewhere like Germany, France, or the United Kingdom, people are coming from Libya, Sudan, Nigeria, Kosovo, Iraq, Iran, Darfur, and Somalia. Syrian refugees are willing to risk everything, including their lives, to escape their country. The most direct and often used routes are fraught with danger. More than 2,600 people have drowned in the Mediterranean last year. These drownings are caused by the use of unsafe, flimsy dinghies or boats often made out of rubber or wood. The bodies of 71 deceased Syrian migrants were found abandoned in a large, heavy motor vehicle, while 800 were killed in a shipwreck off Italy's island. Those who make it to their destination can often count on being violently abused by human traffickers. This does not stop the migrants, nor does the price they pay, which can be thousands of dollars per person. These refugees aren't looking to harm others or put other countries at risk. All they want is a place to live, a place where their children can grow up to be healthy and successful, a place where they can provide their children with food, water, and an education. This brings us to our next issue surrounding the Syrian refugee crisis. Food has not been delivered to cities and towns in Syria since October. The people are starving to death due to their leader not allowing the airdrops to come in. Syrians are fleeing to save their lives along with their families. Unfortunately, some countries do not want these refugees and are turning them away at their borders, while other countries cannot financially support them. With the U.S. president election coming soon, candidates are campaigning cross-country and bringing the ongoing crisis to the attention of their voters. While some candidates are making proposals of all immigrants and Muslims being banned from America, quoting Republican candidate Donald Trump saying, "We cannot let them into this country, period." Taking the opposition to Trump's opinion, Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton states that closing the door on refugees fleeing Syria would undermine who we are as Americans, and turning away orphans, applying a religious test, discriminating against the Muslims, slamming the door on every Syrian refugee. This is just not who we are. We are better than that. Clinton expressed her view on the Syrian refugee crisis by announcing that she believed that 65,000 refugees should be allowed in, making that number 55,000 refugees more than President Obama's proposal of 10,000. I got a chance to interview local high school students asking how they would react if a Syrian refugee were to sit down next to them in classes. Here are some of their responses.
I would honestly be happy to know that they're in a place that is safe and that they're no longer in danger and that they're still wanting to learn. I think that there's only good things that could come from it, and people can't be scared about other people being safe.
If a Syrian refugee sat down next to me in school, I would be fine with it because I'm a person, they're a person, there's no real difference.
So if a Syrian refugee sat down next to me in class, I would probably be okay with it because they're not necessarily a terrorist.
I don't really know how I'd feel. I would probably try to be kind of sensitive to everything that they've probably been through, but I don't know how I'd react. I'd just try to be really nice and sensitive.
I also got the opportunity to sit down with Dana Gillen, Staples High School teacher of U.S. History, Contemporary World Studies, and Middle East. I got the chance to ask her some questions about the Syrian crisis. Let's see what she has to say.
Ask me your questions.
How would you feel if a Syrian refugee became a student in your class?
In my Middle East class or any class?
In your Middle East class particularly.
I would be excited because they offer a unique perspective on something that's, so in the news every day still, and it's one of the leading stories. It's pulled in nations from around the globe. But I guess I'd have to temper that excitement and that desire to talk to them about their experiences with the fact that, they've probably been traumatized by it. So, having that perspective in class is so
unique.
Such a unique opportunity that I'd want to be able to have them share that with the class. But I'd have to, I guess my first interest would have to be to make sure that they're comfortable and that they don't feel like they're being taken advantage of. And I'm sure that the only thing is I think kids would, and I think they would be good about it, being sensitive about not probing too much into subjects that perhaps they'd be reluctant to talk about. Right. Just from a trauma point of view.
Well, thank you for spending your time to answer these questions.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you for tuning in to this informational special on the Syrian refugee crisis. We appreciate your time and attention to this ongoing issue. If you would like to help in any way possible, please donate to the Doctors Beyond Borders and visit the UNHCR page to donate to the UN Refugee Agency. Thank you again.